Hello, everyone. Welcome back, campers. It is time for our next fabulous Warrior Goddess Summer Camp session. And our next session is going to be with another fantastic and fabulous member of the Warrior Goddess leadership team, and that is Mary. And today, Mary is going to share with us. The topic for hers is entitled Taking Action or Resting on Getting Clear with Our Intuition. So I'm excited, Mary, for you to share. And yeah, let's get started. I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Tara. Everybody send some love to Tara. Thank you so much for all your hard work and the rest of the leadership staff and team's hard work on making summer camp happen. And hello, everybody. Hi, campers. I hope you are having a wonderful day. There's been so many different fun and deep and just really beautiful women presenting and teaching. And I hope you're having some space in between to integrate. And I'm so appreciative of all of you. So as a heads up, and you probably have heard this at some point today, I can see comments coming in and I don't necessarily know who they're from. So if I miss any questions or comments through my module or course or class today, I'm going to be very serious the whole time. Tara is going to pop on and help me with that. So, okay. So let's go ahead and get ready to transition. So whether that's you were just in the kitchen hanging out, or you were just watching another delicious class or episode or conversation. So let's shake that off and get ready to go and get present here. So just closing your eyes for a second. And let's take 3 or 4 nice big deep breaths and just reset ourselves and get really clear on what it is that we're most curious about when it comes to our intuition. So during our time together today, we're going to talk about when to take action, when to rest in relationship to your intuition. So kind of starting to drop that in. What am I most curious about? What questions may I have around my intuition? What have I heard about my intuition? Or read or studied? Good. When you're ready, opening your eyes. So where I started around connecting more deeply to my intuition was actually in Heather Ash Amara's Women's Circle. Back in the day, Warrior Goddess training was called 13 Moons, and she held it live in Austin, and she did that for many, many years in Central Texas and in other places across the country. And there was a particular class where she had us drop in to all the different types of intuition that you could have. And at this point, I don't really think I had any kind of concept or idea. I just thought at the time, I'm not very good with my intuition. I'm certainly not psychic or clairvoyant or any of the words that sometimes can float around this internal, spiritual, or energetic type of knowing. And I would move in and out of circles with people, and I would hear these words passed along. And I just made the assumption that I just wasn't very good at it. I wasn't very attuned. And so in Heather Ash's Women's Circle, as she started to describe and touch on each one of the different types of intuition that are possible for people to experience, I was really blown away to discover that there were actually many types, if not all the types of intuition that I've had experience with. So there's ways to feel things, to hear things, to emotionally experience things that are very intuitive. And the revelation that happened for me was that I was getting overwhelmed by the amount of stimulus and information coming in, and I wasn't able to separate it out. And that's why I was having a difficult time connecting to it or even understanding what it was. And I feel like a lot of times this is what happens for us. So we are energetic bodies, and we are not taught this, right? A lot of emphasis on our mental body, emphasis on our physical body. A lot of things around the emotional body are kind of disregarded culturally. And so this gets lost, like this connection, whether it feels spiritual or a connection to something just kind of greater than yourself or your highest self. Just through moving through the world and the way our lifestyles are from day to day, we just get disconnected from this or really confused about what it really is or how it really feels in our life. So there's a couple things that I also realized about myself. So once I got connected to the way my intuitive process felt in my body, which was unique to me, and started to do some internal cleaning around it, what I also realized was this false belief that was a little bit of a trap for myself around wanting to be intuitive or, wanting to be psychic or clairvoyant in some way. What I was realizing is I was setting myself up for a trap that I was starting to connect my intuition to this wanting to stay safe in the world by needing to know what's going to come next. And that is different. So if we are tapping into our intuition and we're coming from a place where it is fear-based and we're really wanting to connect or attach to what's going to happen in the future or what that meant in the past, we're actually totally missing the premise and the connection that helps us get really aligned into our own intuition. So psychic energy, can come from being next to somebody as energetic, like your energetic bodies kind of blend together or connect together. And it's very common to kind of feel or experience things. And we hear about this in empathic response, or, if someone is experiencing a certain type of emotional state or is going through something, sometimes we can sense or have a feeling sense of what that other person is feeling. So an example of this is if you're in a room full of people and you're just hanging out and somebody walks in and you look up and you may notice in their face they look really afraid or scared, and you can kind of sense something maybe around your skin or maybe in the pit of your stomach, and say they just walked out of a really stressful situation or was in back-to-back traffic. That empathic response exists in actually all of us. It helps us stay connected within community and just being here in this human experience together. So that's also another layer, and that's not what I'm talking about today when it comes to intuition. So we're not trying to feel into what other people are feeling, what other people want for us, or what's coming into the future for us. So the intuition that I'm going to talk about today is in the total present moment, what is necessary to make a decision or feeling sense in that moment. So it's the capacity to drop in, get really centered, and say, what's next or what's needed right now in this moment. Okay, now go. So this isn't in 10 years from now. This isn't what my sister thinks is best. This is different. So it's in alignment. So the reason why we don't want to start bringing our mental energy usually out somewhere into the future, out into other people or into other experiences in the world, as energetic bodies, as our energy starts to flow, we start to get really attached to these things. And so if we're tethered, if you can kind of imagine yourself, if the goal is to have this really sweet alignment, almost like they're like parallel, beautiful lines of a connection from sky to earth, right? Just like your spine, and you breathe through and feel really centered. If you imagine if you have all these cords kind of coming out from this alignment that's keeping you autonomous and centered, it can get really sticky and it can start to pull you in different directions. So this is just the energy of the mental body usually. And it usually comes from fear or stress in some way. So the number one thing we're going to talk about today is the capacity just to slow down first and see what's happening with ourselves. So I want to begin starting to pair intuition to really meaning deepening your intimacy with yourself. Your intimacy with yourself, with what your mind is saying, with what you emotionally may be feeling, with maybe the alignment in whatever way you energetically experience the world. But what is happening in all of those areas? And so the beautiful thing is there may be one area that you favor more than another, or you get lots of information from. So a lot of us have a beautiful alchemy with our emotions. We can go really deep with them. We can get this deep dive or feeling sense of what is and being very connected to what's happening. Some of us can be really analytical and have this beautiful mental process in the way that we see the world. Some of us can just kind of sense things we can't explain and have more of like an energetic experience of the world. So every way is really beautiful. And then most of us kind of favor one way or another that we move through the world. And the place I want to start with first is usually when you begin this journey is you notice it's your mind that is taking up the most attention and driving you to move in different directions, and again starting to hook or bring your energy just to different places that really aren't serving your life and feeding you. So really the sense on coming back to that alignment and getting really still in order to listen and hear and feel and sense what the next best direction is for you, that step in the moment. The first piece is understanding what's actually happening here or what's needed in this moment. So we're actually going to take a few minutes and we're going to drop in and we're going to do a meditation together and see if we can kind of feel this out and experience this together, just for you to be able to get a little bit more information about yourself. And I'm going to walk you through it. So that's all I'm going to say so far. So go ahead and get comfortable. And I would love for you to arrange your bodies right now where your spine is straight or aligned. And go ahead. I know you're probably staring at a screen right now, but move any other type of distraction out. So if you're not using your phone as your screen, maybe turn the sound off. Move other things away. Just give yourself permission to kind of just drop into this container right now of our time together. Just to be really curious about your intuition. Good. So go ahead and close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And our breath is an amazing thing to focus on and connect to when we want to drop into stillness with ourselves. Just asking the question, what's my relationship to my intuition? So go ahead, take 5 or 6 nice big deep breaths. Getting really clear you're coming into this present moment with me here. On the exhale, letting anything else go. Good. And after your deep breaths, what I would love for you to do is just imagine that you can send your breath really sweetly all the way down through your spine. So on the inhale, Setting the intent. Oh, exhale, sending your breath all the way down each vertebrae of your spine, allowing it to open and relax and settle. Keep allowing it to drop down, grounding you, allowing it to branch out of your tailbone. Imagining you can send that breath, that energy down into the earth. Imagining it as roots. Deep breath in, sending it down, down, down into the earth, all the way down, imagining soil. Being really patient with yourself if you notice any resistance from sending your energy down. So want to use gentleness, really gentle. Talking to yourself sweetly. Okay, we're gonna ground. Down, down, down. Good. You keep using your imagination, connecting down to those roots that you've sent down into the earth, allowing them to spread, feeling the coolness, the slight darkness and sweetness of that earth energetic. And just allowing your whole body to begin to settle down, resting into the earth, and just allowing her to come up and hold you for the remaining time together with me now. Good. And as you hold this imagery nice and soft, go ahead and take your hands and connect to your physical body in some way. So you can gently hold your knees, your arms. You can put one hand on your heart or one hand on your belly, and then just kind of softly connect. So what I want you to do is be in your body. So see if you can hold this sweet rooted imagery, feeling that sense that you have of connection to the earth, of that alignment, that sweet alignment from your spine with the sky above you and the earth beneath you, and be in your body. Yeah. So keep sweetly just holding. Good. Okay. So now I want you to think, and you can keep your eyes closed, of one time you received an intuitive hit or a knowing hit around something, and you did not know why you knew it, but you ended up connecting that moment of knowing to an event or something that happened. And I want you to think back and try to remember, how did you know? So checking in, seeing if you can remember, was it a voice that came through in your mind? Was it an emotion that you felt through your body? Was it an energy or something that you felt on your skin that really can't quite describe? Did you see imagery in your mind's eye or in your mind of this? Were you awake? Were you sleeping? How did you know? How did you feel it in your body? And what was your experience? Good. And when you feel ready, just kind of squeezing your body again, coming back. Let a little sound out, take a breath. You move around a little bit and gently opening your eyes. Go ahead and turn your head from side to side and then come back. Look at me. Coming back to this present moment. And here you are. Here we are. So I'm just curious what you noticed. How did you know? So opening up to the fact that you have your own unique way that you experience the world. And you really are the only one, in fact, that realizes this or knows this or can come to this point within yourself. And falling into different traps sometimes we create for ourselves of the way we think intuition is supposed to look, or we think something is supposed to be experienced, or that intuition is like floating on clouds and being 100% all of it is a story. Okay. So developing your intuition really is about more deeply coming to terms and understanding yourself. And in nearly all of Heather Ash's fabulous teachings, we talk about cleaning. We talk about the cleaning that we can do and the tools that we can use to come in connection to our mental body, to our emotional body, to our physical body, and to begin greeting ourselves with love, seeing what's there from a non-judgmental place, and realizing no matter what aspect we focus on, they're all energy. And they're all bringing our attention to something, and they can all move in and out when we're in a place of not judging them and not wanting ourselves to somehow be different. So the beauty of breath and slowing down and being in the present moment and staying curious is that if we're not linking our energy out through our mental body, and I imagine Heather Ash talked about this through Disaster Mind, and getting pulled and kind of hooked into these different scenarios, which by the way, aren't happening in the present moment, or being hooked by events that happened in the past, which by the way, are no longer happening. We're here, we're able to stay aligned and connected and present with ourselves and curious. So curious, staying curious and open to not needing to know everything all the time, right? That's the mind's job. It's really a sweetheart. It's constantly working in overdrive, trying to keep us safe all day long. And if we bring too much of our attention there and starting to get hooked and starting to feed our energy, the expression of our energy only in that way, we're missing out on other really beautiful ways we can start to move our energy body and get present with ourselves. So a huge part of connecting to our intuition, that presentness after cleaning, is really resting into the mystery. So into the stillness in this moment of not necessarily needing to know and staying curious. So when we can drop into our breath and just simply get really present, so much of our intuition actually comes almost like a lightning bolt that we're not quite sure how we knew what we knew. So there wasn't necessarily a mental process or something that needs to lead up in order for us to know what the next best step is. So again, not 20 steps down the line necessarily. And setting an intent is beautiful, which is different. But staying present in what's happening for me now and what do I need. So the largest tool I want to introduce today that totally changed my life and helping me open up and stay really present in my world and increased my own sense and intimacy with my own intuition was realizing that I needed movement and stillness. So what I did is I would create a sacred space for myself, and what sacred looks like is it was a comfy cushion on the floor and a corner in my room where I could set up on a small table a bunch of things that I liked. So like essential oils I liked to smell, stones I liked to hold, different colors I liked to look at, maybe spiritual quotes that had an impact. But it was a place where I felt really safe and I really liked to come to. And the time that I brought my body physically to that place was when I was going to do a practice around intuition or connecting to myself, or a spiritual practice for myself. So it wasn't some place where I did 8 hours of computer work and then tried to shift, right? It wasn't in front of the television. It wasn't necessarily at the kitchen table with lots of people around. It's a place that was special for me that I could go to, and my body automatically could come on board and go, oh, we're about to do something really special, right? So every time I would come to this area to connect with myself and to get aligned, my body would help me remember, because that was the area where I did this special thing. So whatever your sacred space may look like, I invite you to do that. And I'd play with getting really still, and I'd get quiet, and then without judgment, if I felt antsy or I felt an emotion or something that wanted me to move, I would give myself permission to stand up, put on one of my favorite songs, and dance it out. I mean, dance it out, shake it out, yell, bounce, okay? And then I'd wait, I'd check in with my body. Is that good? Okay. And I would sit back down again, and I'd drop into stillness. I'd hold, and then I'd wait, and I'd move again. So I played with dancing, music, sound with my voice to kind of shake out and allow energy to move in order to calm and get really still, in order to get curious and listen. And every day, still to this day, no matter how many years I've been doing this, it looks differently. And that's okay. Some days I can come to my cushion and I can sit and get still to connect to myself, to connect to my alignment and my intuition. And I'll sit there for an hour and love it. I don't move from the cushion. Other days it is uncomfortable. I might get up and dance 10 times. I might get up and dance once. I might only dance. So what it is asking yourself, what do I need? And allowing energy to move in order to come back to stillness. So lots of different fun ways to play. Awesome. Okay. I think we're just about at time. And I see so many things in the chat box. Okay. They all say Facebook user. Tara, do you want to pop on, and if you're there? Hi, I missed you.
Hi, Winter. Hello. So good to see you.
All right, I can see Wendy. Yeah, Wendy saying, read some through. I'll grab a couple questions because I know we're short on time. And I'll actually do my best to get on the Facebook page and see if I can answer some of these directly. So if as the talk has gone on and your question wasn't answered, if you could go ahead and plug that in again, and I can get back to this feed and answer it. Okay, Tara, are you seeing any questions? Anything we can do?
I haven't seen any actual questions. There's some really beautiful comments and things, but no questions specifically.
Yes. I knew in my gut it was unquestionable. I heard the message. I feel it in my body. Yes. My antennas start vibrating. Yeah. Oh, these are great. Good. Good, good, good. Thank you so much for everybody that shared. Yeah, we all each have such a unique sense. So if you are not clear, what I would love for you to do is start to play with the stillness and the movement practice in your day. And it sounds super simple and it's great. So what I'd love for you to do is connect to a certain amount of time that you can do this. So maybe it can just be 10 minutes, so it's not overwhelming. Some of you may go big, it'll be an hour, whatever feels good for you, and it can change every day. But make a commitment and just see just through the practice of playing with stillness into movement and movement into stillness, you start to develop a connection to your energetic body and how to move that, and then how to listen. So awesome. I've loved being with all of you, and I love talking about this. And Tara, I think time's up.
We have a question, Mary.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, a question just popped up. Yeah, I think it was from Sue. And it says, what if my home does not have a good separate space?
Oh, Sue, yeah. Yeah, because some of us are confined with others. I wonder if they will ever like leave the house to go for a walk or something. And you can claim that time, or if you can ask for it. And if that's not possible, because I know a lot of us are have become 100% responsible. We don't have daycare or schooling for our children. So I want to be mindful of all the different responsibilities we have. If you are able to have time for yourself, what I used to do when I didn't have space alone with this practice, Sue, is I used to go for a walk around my neighborhood, and I would dance walk. So it was epic. So I would put headphones in, and I would just like it, it can be as dramatic or non-dramatic as you want to. And just get a lot of movement going or swinging in my arms, or like a step. Like I'd play with walking in different ways, like how it felt. And then I would find an area, of course, that's out of the road and safe from traffic, to literally just stop and just kind of breathe. I would stretch my body, and I'd walk again. So if you don't have the capacity right now to ask someone to leave, or for you to have space to yourself, that's one suggestion I have. Dance walking.
Yes. Dance walking. I'm in. I'm so in. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Mary. It has been wonderful. You have been wonderful, and what a delightful session. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Happy summer camping, everybody. Thanks so much, Sparkle, for all your love and your attention and your hosting all day. We love you.
Thank you. I love you. And so, campers, just to give you an idea of what's coming up, we will be having a break between now and, I'm just going to look and double check my schedule just before I say it wrong. So the schedule I have here says 6:30. Now that's Central Time. So it's about just a little under 45 minutes from now. We will be back on, and Heather Ash will be back on for Hanging Out with Heather Ash. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, everyone. Have a nice break. We'll catch you later.